The Last of Us Episode 2 has just debuted on HBO, and this is going to be a spoiler-filled discussion about said episode, so if you haven't seen it yet, that's your warning. The pilot episode ended on a cliffhanger as Tess, Joel, and Ellie began their journey through rundown America. This episode begins with a flashback to September of 2003, where we meet a character who's being whisked away by the police in the middle of her lunch. It's a great scene because everyone thinks that this woman's being arrested, even herself. She's not sure if she's committed a crime, but she's going along with it until they assure her, no, we just need your expertise. This person then examines one of the very first infected ever. And when she realizes that this infection can live in a human and can be spread very easily to other humans, in a chilling moment, she says there is no medicine. There is no vaccine. Tell people to bomb this entire city and everyone in it. I'll be curious to see if Craig Mazin decides to go forth with every episode having some sort of flashback before the credit sequence. And I really like that idea because you learn a lot about how the world responded to it. And you're getting to see how multiple people in different countries responded to it now. And it's not just about Joel and Ellie. It's also showing what went on in another country when someone discovers that this will truly be a world-ending apocalyptic event. But we pick up with Joel, Ellie, and Tess as they're traversing through some buildings. Joel is still very much of the mindset that maybe we should kill this girl because she is immune. She has shown herself to not be affected by a bite that she sustained 3 weeks ago. And the bite is healing, and she's not showing signs of infection. And so that's why she's so important, because she might hold the key to some kind of cure or a vaccine. If you've played the games, you know that. And there's not going to be too many surprises in this episode if you've played the games. If you haven't, then I'm excited for you to be able to experience some of these things for the very first time without the context of the game. But even as someone who has played the game and knows this story, I'm taken by how faithful they're being to it. They have done an amazing job recreating the look of this city and how overgrown everything is, how the buildings are falling into themselves. The most impressive set in this episode is the lobby of a hotel with knee-deep water, skeletons, moss, vines, concrete. It's absolutely astounding what they've provided on screen in camera for the director, who is Neil Druckmann, in his debut outside of video games. I think this is probably the perfect episode for him to do that because it is very similar to the game. He knows it inside and out, and it is mostly a trek episode of walking through these various ruins and encountering the terrifying clickers, these versions of the infected that can't see but have extremely good hearing and are incredibly strong. That whole sequence was fantastic. But if you're almost to the end of the episode and you feel like you haven't experienced anything monumental for the characters, that changes when Tess is bitten and she decides to sacrifice herself in a blaze of glory for Joel and Ellie to get out of there. What I loved most about this scene is how Joel says goodbye. He doesn't. He just kind of stares at her and very quickly gets the fuck out of there. As I said in my review of the pilot, Joel's still alive for a reason. He doesn't take time for congeniality. He's just like, okay, this is terrible and I hate it, but I'm out. Also, I really liked Bella Ramsey in the first episode, but here she gets so much screen time. She absolutely shines as Ellie. I thought she was the embodiment of that character. I think she's wonderful in the show. I think she's doing just such a good job, and so is Pedro Pascal. If you're someone who thought the first episode was maybe too much like the game, that's not going to change here because this episode is very faithful to the storyline of the game. Certain things are shifted around a little bit. Some things happen in slightly different ways, but at the end of the day, if you've played the game, you know exactly what's going to happen in this episode. And that's okay. The game did it well. If it's not broken, don't fucking fix it. And I like seeing the subtle hints of Joel and Ellie's relationship eventually improving. They have this moment where Tess has to go and move some things behind some concrete to help them get through a doorway. And so now Joel and Ellie have to sit there and try to talk about something. And watching them attempt to bond while also insulting each other is exactly what I love about these characters. Craig Mazin did a great job writing this, Neil Druckmann did a great job directing it, but really the showcase of this episode for me was the production design and visual effects. I really think that team has just done stellar work, and I can't wait to watch episode 3. I hope you guys like this one. I loved it. I think it's just, once again, they're doing the right thing. It's going in the right direction. It's been a minute since I've actually been really excited for like a weekly show. I haven't felt that way in a while, and I love that. I'm so excited about this. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Let me know what you thought of Last of Us Episode 2 down below. As always, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.